So tell me a little bit about your character.
Jem is a program in the world of TRON, kind of an emotionless, robotic type, but a little curious about the Sam Flynn character and what he represents and what this other world is. So I think there's a dual, personality in her.
Cool. The cast is so phenomenal in this. What was it like? What was the on-set chemistry between everyone?
Everyone was so excited and willing to work and I think jump into this world, which is all you can ask for. And I mean, such like a talented group. So you just learn. I mean, watching Michael Sheen, because I worked a lot mostly with him and Garrett. But it was kind of like a fascinating, sorry,
that's okay,
to see just how, I mean, I think the true test of someone that has like talent is like how unpredictable they can be and how they can keep things so fresh and constantly change and with one line and make it different every time. And that's not always how it has to be, but I mean, it's like human nature isn't the same all the time. And I think people get caught up in like, I have to do it this way. This is how I thought I should do it, And Michael was like, watching him, I was just amazed all the time. Like, what is he gonna do next? He's so fun, And everyone brought that, like, caliber of talent to everything they did. So you just kind of like, I just felt so lucky to watch and learn.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about the technology, with the shooting and with the film. What's impressed you most?
I guess, I'm not savvy when it comes to technology whatsoever. I wasn't, like, I had dial-up up until, like, I don't know, 7 years ago, which maybe that's about right. 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And just have an old computer still. So for me, I think the most impressive thing was, the surprising thing really, was the amount of people it takes to create 3D, to create this world, to work with these cameras. Like, it's such a specialty. It's such like, it's not just like, I don't know, making Italian food. It's making the best and the most incredible and the most different, unique type of food.
Right.
And that's what, watching it was just, that's what it takes to do that? Oh my God. But what does that do and that do and that do? And like, it's mind-blowing, the intelligence of these people and the creativity and how innovative. I mean, I was just like a kid, watching everything and like trying to understand it,
Right. Cool. What's your Comic-Con experience been like thus far?
It's been fun so far.
Is this your first one?
First one. Cool. I've yet to go on the floor. I'm doing that today, which I'm really excited about. Everyone's been, I only can compare it to things I know, like for me, maybe Comic-Con Coachella is like my Comic-Con, so music for me is like and that's like, it's universal, language is universal, music is universal, and here it's like the love of film and science and technology is universal, and it connects everybody, and there's no judgment. Everyone's free to express themselves and like frolic and be who they are, and I think that is such a rare and beautiful thing to see, and
Definitely.
so that's what I loved watching the most. It's just like, I mean, that's how I grew up, was like in a little hippie community where you painted and frolicked in the meadows, and like this is kind of that on a certain degree.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Topanga Canyon. I don't know if you know, it's like a little, it's in LA, but it's kind of this strange, interesting artistic community.
Cool.
There's no like neighborhood blocks to hang out,
Right.
Weird houses with lots of spiders and, strange people who live up the street that you'll never know, and, nudist colonies, everything. It's just,
Cool.
Going back to music and your love of music, they spoke yesterday about how a lot of the Daft Punk music they use to set the tone for scenes.
Oh my God.
So
they'd play it while you were shooting. I mean, it's like, you hear a sad song and you just like, anything in your life that may be not going right, it's like, it's brought to the forefront. You're like, what's sad about that, And you'd play this Daft Punk music and it's so like, it gets in your bones. It really does. I don't know if you saw the clip. I have yet to see it yet, but it really does get underneath your skin, and that kind of beat. I love beats. I love like drum. I mean, I'm a big drum and bass fan. I love that kind of like, I like house music a lot. And I love that kind of music that kind of comes up from the bottom and brings you up, and I feel like, I mean, some music just kind of brings you down, and hearing that music on set like this and doing these scenes where it's choreographed movements and walking and what have you, it's like you're in it, you're so in it,
Right.
you know, and I mean, it was such a perfect choice. I'm not sure who was the final one to say that this is who should create the soundtrack, but it was perfect.